Today we have first class in class 9 and we will start from the chapter cell. So cell chapter that we have also read in class 8, and in this class we will just see a little bit in detail the structural and functional unit of all living organism, that is the cell. So cell, first, what is cell? If you define the cell, you can say it is a structural and functional unit of living organism. Okay? If you start from this building, suppose this building you are watching here, and this building is made up from bricks, cement, rods and etc. other materials. Likewise, our body is also made from the different materials, different components. So cell is the smallest component or smallest unit of all living beings, all living organisms. So we can compare the different materials of the building with our cells, as the different materials makes the buildings. Likewise, cell has made our body, or cell has made the different living organisms. So cell is the structural, functional and hereditary unit of all living organisms. So here I am writing structural, functional and hereditary unit of all living organisms. So now we will discuss one by one. Why I say this structure? Because the structure and composition of all living organisms are similar. Whatever the composition of cell is present in our body, that is present in your body also. That is present in other living being also, like cat, tiger, horse, dog or any living organisms. Even if you plant, see different plants, you see the mango or any other plants. Even the small plants or big plants, but their composition remains the same. Their structures remain the same. If the cell wall is present in one plant, the same cell wall with same composition will present in other plants. If the mitochondria is present in our body, that mitochondria is present in other animals' body also. So structurally, all the living organisms are similar as far as the cell structure is concerned. Second, the functional unit. Functional means the behavior of the cell, the function of the cells is similar in all living organisms. Or you can say whatever we behave, whatever we work, that depends on the behavior or function of the cell. So the function of all living organisms are similar. Suppose cell responsible for the digestion, the cell responsible for the reproduction will perform the function of only digestion and reproduction in all living organisms. So digestion process, whatever that takes place in our body, the cell responsible for digestion will work in your body in the similar way. Likewise, the cell responsible for the reproduction, they will work in a what manner in our body, in the same manner will work in other living organism also. So that is the functional unit of all living organisms. Now, third is the hereditary unit. Hereditary unit means the transfer of characters takes place through the cell only. That is the gametic cells. These gametic cells contain the hereditary unit, that is the chromosomes. So hereditary material of the all living organism, that is the chromosome, through which the characters are transferred from the parents to the offspring. So we can say that cell is the structural, functional and hereditary unit of all living organisms. Now question arises, what is heredity? Heredity is the transfer of the character from parents to offspring. Offspring means descendants or their children. So any properties which we inherit, which is transferred from the parents to their children, parents to their offspring, that is called heredity. And this property is transferred through the hereditary material, that is known as chromosomes. And as we know that each and every individual has fixed number of chromosomes. Likewise, human being, we have the 46 number of chromosomes. This 46 number of chromosomes is called the basic sets of the chromosome. And these basic sets of chromosome coming from the both sides, 23 from the maternal side and 23 from the paternal side. So at the time of reproduction, these 23 combines to become the complete sets of the chromosome, and that is transferred to the individuals, transferred to their children. So this chromosome is a hereditary material. If we see the structure of chromosome, this is the structure of chromosome, in which this is the arm of chromosome, This is also arm of chromosome. This is the centromere. And if we divide this chromosome longitudinally, then it becomes chromatid. So if we divide this chromosome in this way, then it becomes chromatid. These are the chromatids. So this is the structure of chromosome, and this chromosome is present in the nucleus of the cell. So nucleus is also known as the masterpiece or the brain of the cell, because it controls all the activity of the cells. Okay. Now if you see the basic structure of the cell, that is, it consists of the, see the basic structure of the cell. This is the basic structure of the cell. Suppose this is the animal cell. This is the animal cells, and in the center, that is the nucleus. In the center, this is the nucleus. Okay. So outer boundary of the cell, either it is a plant cell or animal cell, that is cell membrane or plasma membrane. And this is the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, that is a nucleolus. Now, this is the basic structure. I am not going to draw the organelles of the cell. Later we will see here. So this, the materials present inside the cell here, that is called cytoplasm, and materials inside the nucleus, that is nucleoplasm, and together it is called protoplasm. So we can say in another way, the protoplasm surrounded by the cell membrane is also cell. In other words, if we define this, what is cell, then protoplasm surrounded by the nuclear membrane or plasma membrane is also cell. In definition, we can write this is a structural, functional and hereditary unit of all living organism. But here from this diagram also we can define the protoplasm, this one protoplasm surrounded by the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, also cell. Now question arises from where this cell has come, who has discovered the cell. So first it was the Robert Hooke, who for the first time in 1665 discovered the cell, while he was observing the thin slice of the cork cell. He was observing the thin slice of the cork under simple microscope. In this simple microscope, he observed the thin compartment-like structure. Or honeycomb-like structure. Like this. So this honeycomb-like structure he observed under simple microscope, and he gave the term or the name, that is cell. So cell is discovered by the Robert Hooke. Now we can divide the cell into two categories, plant cell and the animal cell. Just a minute, just wait. Before going to the structure of the plant cell and animal cell, we will go little bit in the history of the cell and the branch of the science which study the structure of the cell, that is known as cytology. Okay, cytology. The branch of science, a branch of biological science in which study the cell, that is known as cytology. So in the field of cytology, different scientists, different researchers contributed their contribution. They have done excellent work in the field of cytology. So in this regards, the cell theory was given in between 1838-39. two gentlemen, one from botany and one from zoology. One from botany and one from zoology. Sliden and Swan. Sliden was the botanist. Sliden was the botanist and Swan was the zoologist. So these two scientists, the botanist, Swan was the botanist, he was studying the botany, and so Sliden was the botanist and Swan was the zoologist. Now what is botany? The study of the plant is called botany, and the study of animals called zoology. So these two gentlemen came together and he gave some basic facts about the cell, that is called cell theory. Okay. So in this cell theory he told that cell is the structure unit of all living organisms. So he gave the cell theory. In this cell theory, first he said that cell is the structural unit of all living organisms. Second, he said that the new cells arises from the pre-existing cells. So new cells arises from the pre-existing cells. How it arises? By the process of division. So when one cell divides, it forms another cells. So new cells arises from the previous cells, means pre-existing cells. The cells which exist earlier, the cells which is present earlier. From this cell, new cells are produced by the process of cell division. And third he told that composition of the cells remains the same throughout the life. The composition of the cell remains same throughout the life. Means whatever the composition we have at this time in our cell, like cytoplasm, protoplasm. The cytoplasm, protoplasm consists of the carbohydrate, protein, fat, lipid, minerals. All these compositions remain the same throughout the life, from the childhood to adulthood and from adulthood to old age. That composition remains the same. And finally, fourth, what he said? In fourth, he said that function of organism depends on the function of the cell. Means behavior of organism depends on the behavior of cell. So these four postulates has been given by the Swan and Sliden. It is known as cell theory. Okay. So next time we will go in detail the structure and function of the cell organelles, and before the structure and function of cell organ, we will also divide the cell into prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Thank you.